Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Host Eddie Frederick.
Welcome to Caribbean Perspective. So glad you can join us. The story that dominates in today's edition for Wednesday, 12th November 2025, and brought to you in association with our friends at Antillean Group. Shocking snap election announcement in St. Lucia for December 1st poll. Details after this important message.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all, perils big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so clear to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
The hurricane season is now upon us, so we as Caribbean people need to remember to think safety and be prepared. Avoid venturing outside during a storm or hurricane, especially if there are strong winds. Rooftops and other debris are often blown about and can cause great damage.
Welcome back. St. Lucia's Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre has called a snap general election for Monday, December 1st, 2025, after advising the Governor-General to dissolve Parliament Monday. Gina Felipe of HTS News Force has details.
Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre has rocked St. Lucia's political scene by announcing a snap general election for Monday, December 1st, 2025. During a televised address to the nation at 8 p.m. Sunday, November 9th, 2025. The broadcast was simulcast live to a massive public election campaign rally on the storied steps of the Castries Market, where thousands of attendees gathered, with the address preceded by speeches from party officials. In the address, Pierre expressed assurance in his government's performance and formally set the election timetable.
The last general election was on July 26, 2021. The Constitution of St. Lucia says in section 55(2) that Parliament, unless sooner dissolved, shall continue for 5 years from the date of the first sitting of the House after any dissolution, and shall then stand dissolved. This would mean that general elections are constitutionally due for the latest 3 months after the first sitting of Parliament, which was held on 12 August 2021. In effect, general elections are not constitutionally due until November 12, 2026. Confident that we have delivered what we had promised, and the need to carry on with the normal business of government. Today, I advise the Governor-General to dissolve the Parliament of St. Lucia tomorrow, Monday, 10th November 2025, and to issue writs of elections to pave the way for the general election. The general election will be held on Monday, 1st December 2025. Nomination day will be Friday, 21st November 2025. I thank you.
Pierre devoted much of his speech to contrasting the current fiscal landscape with the challenges inherited in 2021, using data to bolster claims of responsible stewardship and renewed economic vitality under the Labour Party.
In 2024, under the SLP government, the national debt is 73.5%, a reduction of 8% from 2021. Outstanding payables due to local suppliers, 79%, a reduction of 39%. And as of September 2025, Outstanding payables is 38.9 million, a 700% reduction from 2021 under SLP administration. Ladies and gentlemen, these statistics clearly show the level of debt inherited by the Solution Labour Party government and the progress made thus far.
Beyond numbers, the Prime Minister emphasized the human dimension of his policies, highlighting social initiatives as core to the Labour Party's Putting People First pledge, which he argued had transformed lives across demographics. He outlined key reforms aimed at equity and opportunity.
We paid public officers the outstanding and current back pay due to them. Public servants received a 13% pay increase, and for the first time, a bonus at Christmas. We proved that when the Labour Party leads, the country moves forward. Every project in this record, every initiative and reform has one common thread: the interest of the people. We introduced a minimum wage, the first for our country. When we increased pensions, we did it to bring dignity to those who had built this nation. When we launched the youth economy, we did it to give young people a real stake in their future. The construction of the buildings at St. Jude Hospital are completed. The hospital is ready to be commissioned, with phase 1 of the transition commencing in the next few days.
The Prime Minister personally appeared at the massive campaign event, delivering a positive speech on his government's record and distributing copies of a special achievements booklet titled From Promise to Reality. Pundits say the Prime Minister's decision to call the polls a year ahead of the constitutional deadline signals confidence in his administration's record, aiming to capitalize on economic gains and social reforms amid rising opposition scrutiny. Gina Filippi, HTS News Force.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick, in association with our friends at
Antillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
Leaders, change makers, and visionaries are in Barbados, connecting, collaborating, and unlocking new possibilities for growth between Africa, the Caribbean, and the wider diaspora. They are in Barbados for the Grow United Build Africa GUBA Awards Trade and Investment Conference, which kicked off on Monday at the Lloyd Erskine Sandiford Center. CBC's Anesta Henry attended and filed this report.
The GUBA Conference presents networking and other opportunities for Barbados's private sector and other parties from around the globe interested in fostering growth between Africa, the Caribbean, and the wider diaspora. It comes at a time when local authorities have been encouraging Barbadians to seek out markets other than the U.S. for goods and service, given recent tariff and other trade challenges. The GUBA Conference seeks to foster just that. Under the theme Reclaiming Our Atlantic Destiny, Build, Connect, Renew, this series aims to deepen cultural and economic ties between Africa, Barbados, and its regional neighbors. The interactions taking place are intended to cultivate meaningful partnerships in trade, investment, and heritage. That's why Deputy Prime Minister Cynthia Bradshaw says Barbados fully supports what the goals of the conference are. She says Barbados continues to create a favorable business climate, adhering to international standards that ensure investors and partners can cooperate with confidence. She told the conference attendees transparency, agility, and forward-looking policy initiatives remain guiding principles for government.
Our network of double taxation agreements, Botswana, Mauritius, Seychelles, Rwanda, and Ghana, along with a bilateral investment treaty with Mauritius and a tax information exchange agreement with South Africa, ensures that Barbados is a welcoming and a strategic gateway for African investment into the Americas. Through collaboration with the Afri-Exim investment in infrastructure and strategic partnerships, Barbados is cultivating a thriving environment for business culture, and innovation.
And Barbados is building the foundation for long-term prosperity that benefit both Africa and the Caribbean.
Barbados is actively engaging its young people, our future leaders, to help us build systems that allow ideas to flourish and to reimagine and construct equitable and prosperous futures. Whether it's in air and shipping links, to strategic cooperation in life sciences, pharmaceuticals, renewable energy, and education, Barbados continues to renew its commitment with Africa.
Contributing to the conversation, Minister of Energy and Business, Senator Lisa Cummins, says she sees the potential for the establishment of an energy infrastructure fund
that allows us to crowd in investment capital that the diaspora, that locals, that African investors can invest in, and those projects would come from south to south, connecting our Atlantic destiny here in the Caribbean and in the African continent.
Beyond its cultural significance, Barbados is also a dynamic hub for business, trade, and investment. Mindful of that, President and Chief Executive Officer of GUBA, Lady Denta Amateng, is extending gratitude to the government for hosting the conference.
Through the GUBA Awards Trade and Investment Conference and the GUBA Foundation, we transform dialogues into development and culture into capital. Our vision is very simple, yet powerful. We ensure that our descendants of Africa, no matter where they live, have a stake in the future of the continent.
The Sold Out Forum ends on Wednesday. Onesta Henry, CBC News.
Jamaica to get US $150 million in insurance payout from the World Bank. This TVJ news item has details.
Economists had already predicted that Jamaica would qualify for the full $150 million payout from the World Bank's catastrophe bond due to the scope of the damage caused by Hurricane Melissa. On Friday, confirmation from the World Bank. In a statement, the agency said, analysis carried out by third-party calculation agent Air Worldwide Corporation concluded that Hurricane Melissa reached pre-agreed parametric triggers, qualifying for a full redemption of the World Bank catastrophe bond, which offers Jamaica financial protection against specified natural disasters. The analysis was based on the storm's central pressure and path, as reported by the National Hurricane Center. The island first received insurance coverage against named storm events from the World Bank through a World Bank-issued catastrophe bond in 2021. The coverage was later renewed in 2024 through the catastrophe bond. The bond is specifically designed to support the island in the event of hurricanes and earthquakes. Economist Keenan Faulkner explains how it works.
Yes, so Jamaica pays premiums at regular intervals to the World Bank. Those are held by the World Bank. And simultaneously, the World Bank collects principal from international capital market investors. So the World Bank acts as an intermediary between Jamaica and global capital market investors. In the event that the event is triggered, then the capital market investors lose their principal, which is what Jamaica is expected to receive in the form of $150 million US.
This means it is not a loan that Jamaica is expected to pay back. However, the fund is not enough to cover the widespread devastation in the country, with damage so far estimated at about $7 billion US. Mr. Faulkner explained that the catastrophe bond is just to help with immediate relief and recovery, and there's no restriction on how the funds should be spent. It is solely dependent on the government.
Well, this catastrophe bond is really expected to just get Jamaica back on its feet with initial recovery. So long-term reconstruction will have to be facilitated over several budget cycles. And that will need to be budgeted for over the next few years.
He said the country is expected to receive the funds from the World Bank sometime next week. And in addition to the catastrophe bond, the World Bank said a broad package of World Bank group assistance is ready to be mobilized to support Jamaica. This will be done by disbursing emergency funds, the redeployment of existing project funds, and targeted private sector support through the International Finance Corporation, the World Bank's group's private sector development arm.
I am Eddie Frederick. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean.
In the meantime, please follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel for daily regional news and more, in association with our friends at Antillian Group.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all perils, big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so glad to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.